Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to all of you joining us for the second session of Leadership Talkies, Real Talk, Real Impact under the CloudSEK presents Aspiring CXOs Awards, an initiative by CXO Junction. I'm so glad to see you all here today. I'm Aditi Chandan Shive from CXO Junction and I'm going to be your host for today. So, this isn't your usual webinar series. It's the start of a raw, honest conversation with the mentors under the ACA 2025 program who have been through it all and are here to share the real stuff. And yes, we are doing this every Friday. So, consider it your weekly leadership download. An initiative by CXO Junction and CloudSEK, this series, Leadership Talkies, is part of a much larger mission. And that mission is called Aspiring CXOs Awards 2025 program. It's more than just an award ceremony. It's a nationwide initiative to discover, develop, and celebrate India's next generation of CXOs. Through this mentee exclusive initiative, we are connecting mentors and aspiring CXOs across industries in a powerful year long journey of growth, learning, and leadership. In this series, we will be featuring 50 mentors for hundreds of aspiring CXOs. And there's one vision to build a future ready leadership ecosystem rooted in purpose, strategy, and impact. At CXO Junction, we thrive on enabling these knowledge exchange conversations. We are a leading tech media house hosting award shows, producing influential content, and running the GB Show, India's longest running podcast dedicated to cybersecurity. Our print and digital magazines, along with our blogs and social media channels, are trusted sources for industry insights and trends, reaching a large and engaged audience across India, Middle East, and other areas of APAC. We collaborate with industry leaders like CloudSEK. CloudSEK is a cybersecurity company trusted by Fortune 500s and unicorns globally. Their AI-powered external threat intelligence platform helps businesses predict cyber threats before they strike, protect their digital assets, and quantify cyber risks in financial terms. From real-time digital risk monitoring to attack surface visibility, supply chain risk insights, and deep dark web surveillance, CloudSEK offers end-to-end protection across over 200 initial attack vectors and 8 plus digital surfaces. Recognized as the number one threat intelligence platform in APAC by Gartner Peer Insights, CloudSEK empowers organizations to make cybersecurity a boardroom conversation. Before we move ahead, here's what's in store today. We have an enticing session by one of the mentors from South region under the Aspiring CXOs Awards, where we began this journey this year. And we have a small fireside chat with someone who we have from CloudSEK, an expert who will be speaking with the mentor from Aspiring CXOs Award. Stay with us till the end to receive your certificate of attendance, which includes CP credits as well. So let me introduce the star of today's show. Joining us today is Dr. Kumar G, a transformative cybersecurity leader with 20 plus years across MNCs, specializes in building agile business-aligned security programs that drive digital trust and resilience. He is an award-winning author and a global thought leader. He champions security-led culture change and measurable cyber ROI. So can we have Dr. Kumar G, over to you.
Thank you, Aditi. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy to be here, and very much thankful to CyberFrat and this mentorship program for having me here. This is a very important aspect in leadership development. I really appreciate CyberFrat and CXO Junction for organizing this Leadership Talkies series of webinars. I'm happy to present my views on this topic, leveling up for CISO role, and what are the challenges and pointers for success. I'll just present my screen. Once you can see on your display, please confirm. Any of you can confirm. All right.
Yes, sir, we can see it.
Awesome. So before we go ahead, the standard disclaimer, what I'm going to discuss is from my personal opinion. It does not reflect that of my employer. So with that disclaimer, let me start. I think Aditi has already given my intro. Let me skip this. So in the next 40 minutes or so, I would want to focus on these four aspects, right? what it takes to become a CISO, and the key things that I learned in my career as a security leader, and what something no one tells you when you pick up a career in cyber security in the corporate sector, especially when you go higher and higher in the leadership roles. And finally, we'll wrap up with the pitfalls or what are the downsides you may face. So, CISO role is not all hunky dory and it's a path of roses. You do have some pitfalls. It's always important that you know both the plus and minus before you aspire for something, right? So from that perspective, I thought I will add this point as well, right? So what it takes to become a CISO, there is no fixed path in today's scenario. I know people who become CISOs in less than 8 years experience as well. Of course, it depends on the drive and the ambition and the business acumen, leadership qualities, plus their technical expertise, all of that, plus where they want to become, whether it is a startup, whether it is a small and medium enterprise, or a very large organization. So all these factors actually make somebody a CISO in an organization. And also, not all CISOs are the same. I think I'll come to that point in a bit. But for now, when you look at it, of course, you need to do a lot of learning and upskilling if you're aspiring to become a CISO, and build a lot of business acumen, understand the business, speak the business language, right? You have to go beyond your technical expertise and exposure, and demonstrate that executive leadership. That's very critical, right? In the way you behave, the way you act, the way you present, your understanding of the big picture, how you position security, right? How you work along with other business leaders. Are you aligned with the business goals? All of that makes a lot of difference. And you need to have a very strong delivery track record so that you come as a very credible and reliable security leader. So you have to lead from the front and ensure that you have great results within the time and cost and quality perspective. All three have to go hand in hand and bring a very positive experience for all stakeholders, right? And importantly, as you grow in your career, you need to have a strong personal branding, right? When you are starting, it may not matter much, but you need to ensure you have a very strong personal branding in the social media, and also you as a person should come across as a very credible personality, right? It is not just you are there everywhere and everyone is praising you, but you as a person, as an individual, should have a lot of credibility. Okay, and this slide we just continue with the same qualities that you need to have. Importantly, you need to be top of things, so that means you need to build a lot of contextual situation awareness on what's going on in the technology, vulnerabilities. On the business side, what are the key developments? What are the new paradigm shifts in business? And also understand strongly where is the security industry headed, the trends, the challenges, right? The predictions, and also see how the geopolitical risks impact your company, right? Your organization. So complete awareness you should be having so that you can have a good perspective in running your security organization and operations. And it will be a great conversation starter when you speak to your peers and other folks, that you are well read and well informed, right? All these qualities make up a lot, right, in building your personality as a leader. And you need to have a very strong rapport connection with your peers, right? End of the day, you need to work together as a team. The stakeholder engagement is very critical, and as we all know, cybersecurity is a team sport. It is not just one team that actually makes it a success. You need support and cooperation from all the stakeholders. So that's where this is very important, the connect and ability to take everyone along. And of course, the core people management, how do you build a team, how do you engage people, the team leadership, right? And how do you build a program and sustain a security program, right? The core competencies. Then when it comes to the business side, your capability to manage the P&L using budget and budgetary allocations and controls, the overall strategy for security, the roadmap, how do you do sell this security program to your executive management or to the board to get funding and approvals, right? So those things are very important. And importantly, you need to go beyond your specialization. You may be a great SOC manager or application security specialist, right? Or you could be a network security architect, you know in and out, but you need to gain a complete 360-degree view of visibility of what's going on in different aspects of your security program. So point is, you have to go beyond your comfort zone, build a complete view so that you have an idea about what is happening, right? So these are all the building blocks, right? And finally, you should be perceived as a result oriented leader, somebody who's credible and reliable, right? That matters a lot. uh, so what are the specifics? The first thing is, you have to develop a very strong executive presence. So when you sit in a boardroom or a conference room with your senior management, they should take you seriously. So obviously your personality matters a lot. They say specifically in a function like security, be it physical or cyber, the personality of the leader makes or breaks it, right? So that is so true. So your executive presence you need to build with your strong and positive personality. And it's a big topic. I'm no expert, but I'm just sharing my exposure to it, right? You have to be perceived as a very positive and credible person, right? That you build with a strong executive presence, that people take you seriously when you sit across in a room and explain, make a point, or express your views. And you have to be extremely communicative, have that strong superior articulation skills. So whatever you want to communicate, it has to be very clear, concise, and non-ambiguous manner, right? You cannot use technical jargons because your counterparts, your peers, your executive management team may not understand what you are saying. So you have to understand how you can translate technical concept into a business language, right? And of course, presentation skills, we all know how critical it is. And in today's times, you need to do everything with style, class, and precision. So how you present, again, it has to be straight and direct and tailored to your organization culture, right? There are companies which want detailed presentation, everything very detailed, especially since I work for the Japanese, nothing can be missed out. There are companies which were, want only high level, just go straight to the point and discuss, leave the details to a different audience, right? So you have to tailor make. But point is, whatever it is, whether it is detailed or high level, you have to have strong presentation skills, the way you portray, how way you build a business case or explain, everything needs to be top class. And today a lot of AI tools are available to make good presentations. I'm not just talking about how to make a PowerPoint presentation, but overall how you convey, right? So even without the aid of a visual cue like a slide deck, you can definitely be more effective. And business case, for everything you need budget, you need approval. Just because this is an open risk you identified and you know the solution, you're not going to get a approval straight away. So you need to have a strong business case, how you build a business case, justify and put out what is the time and effort and cost involved in this, what are the benefits. It has to be clearly be demonstrable, right, to the stakeholders, and what is the benefits for the organization, data security, privacy, compliance, right? How it enhances your brand value or your competitive advantage. All of that you will have to clearly present in a business case. And strong influencing skills, because your steering committee or executive committee can also play the spoil sport. You may be very passionate and you are very clear, this is a solution, I want to get an approval, but somebody in that committee who's much more smarter or having more influence and skills, without understanding the rationale or the importance, they may put you down, right? They may shoot down your proposal. So you need to have very strong influencing skills. So all these things come part of your overall communication skills at a leadership level. And you have to build that credibility among people, among not just your team members, among peers and seniors, that you are the go-to person for security. Anything on cyber security, people should refer you. Oh, go and meet this person, he knows, right? So that way people have confidence in you. And of course, leadership doesn't mean you stop learning. It's all the upskilling is a lifelong passion or lifelong activity. You have to keep learning new stuff so that you are up to speed, you're top of things all the time. Okay. And what's this quote I really love. Unlike what we think, we need to have technical knowledge all the time. You have to be hands on, but as you grow higher into your career, you may not be technically very hands on. You will be forced to leave. That's what most techies find it very difficult to transition into managerial or leadership roles. But if you really want to have take a shot at power, want to lead a function or a program, you need to have the courage to lose sight of your comfort zone, right? So 85% of your financial success is due to your personality and the ability to communicate, negotiate, and lead. Shockingly, only 15% is due to technical knowledge. My personal experience, I can tell you some of the companies that I worked in my past, they were led by chief security officers who came from non-security background, right? Non-cyber security background, under whom the CISOs reported. So they manage the CISOs. That was an enigma for me. That was very strange for me initially. But when I studied their personalities, as I got to know more about them, what stood out was, though they come from a non-cyber security background, the kind of learning they pick up, the executive presence, the leadership qualities, their ability to have that trust and confidence of the management, the way they lead teams, the program management, strong financial acumen, all those things make their leadership very, very valuable for the management. And beyond a point, it doesn't matter. They may not know how to configure a firewall, or they may not know what is the difference between a firewall and a IDS IPS, but still they know the critical importance at a strategic level, right? So that's something you need to keep in mind. Maybe in the IT industry, they definitely value people with technology background. And since I worked in a few large legacy organizations in the manufacturing industry, I can tell you this, right? So this comes straight from my experience. And upskilling is very important. We spoke about it. So this is a very favorite quote from my favorite author, Tom Friedman, who wrote many years back a book called World is Flat, right? So in a hyper-connected world where average is over, there is one thing we know absolutely for sure: every good job will require more education. So more education doesn't mean adding more degrees. It's all about how you upskill and be ready for the challenge, right? And to be specific, if you are great in your technology domain, your favorite domain, that will not take you far, right? If you are aspiring to become a leader, then you need to get onto the big league, right? So you need to have a management degree, an executive MBA, for example. So Ivy League institutions get on you to the big league. Either you can do from the Ivy League. If you don't have an opportunity, you can look at the IIMs, right? And again, in India, IIM has branches across India. Not all IIMs are equal. Almost all our 28, 29 states have IIMs. But what you should look at is there's a acronym for that, Black I, PLACKI. Okay, these top 6 are very, very valuable. The rankings, you can go and check for yourself in Google. Black I stands for I am Bangalore, Lucknow, Ahmedabad, Calcutta, and Indo, right? So these 6 IIMs are top notch. So what do you gain? You gain business acumen. You look at everything from a different perspective, from the management perspective. So for example, you get disappointed when your proposal is shot down at a senior meeting, senior level meeting. You may think why they are so dumb when are not able to approve. But when you go and understand the management dynamics, how management perceives security, why, what is more important for them at this point in time, especially when the resources are scarce. You will be able to understand, you will be able to appreciate why the decision was taken, right? You gain a management degree that definitely holds value in a senior level role, and you also gear up for leadership roles, and you get your due in terms of your CTC. So somebody without a management degree may not have that leverage to negotiate for a better pay, right? Better package you get because you also have a degree from a top ranked institution, not just a regular MBA degree. I'm talking about top notch institution, 12 high ranking institutions, and it also enhances your professional profile. So these are the benefits. I'm not holding, I'm not supporting or any of these institutions. What I'm trying to tell you is your engineering degree and your certifications and your expertise in your technology domain can only take you so far. If you want to get on to management roles, leadership roles, then you should equip and upskill yourself in these management degree. Okay. Other important thing is mentor. Get a solid mentor. Your mentor is important in life. In life is very important. So choose them very wisely. Do not confuse a mentor with a role model. Okay. Today, you don't have to look at role model. Everyone has their own flaws. You can get a mentor who you can use as a sounding board for your ideas, your thoughts, your decisions. But at the end of the day, you hear them out, take their inputs, but you should have the power and you should retain the power to decide what's best for you, because you know what's best for you, not others, right? So that way you should use your mentor very wisely. So when one person mentors, two lives are transformed. Today we are talking about reverse mentoring also. So when the other person learns from the mentee, right? So I also mentor a few at XLRI, and I mentor a lot of young professionals and students, young professionals wanting to transition into cybersecurity, right? It's very interesting for me to learn from them, their point of view, their ideas, their motivations, right? So one good mentor could be more informative than a college education. It's just a figure of speech, okay, and more valuable than a decade's income. So point is, you may read 1,000 books, but if you have a 1 hour conversation with a very wise person, that is much more valuable. This is not to say or degrade or downplay the value of reading books, the joy of reading books. Point is, I hope you get the import of it, right? A mentor can actually make things happen and can transform your life. Now, as you grow higher, you need to also, I was talking about, building a personal brand. You have to build as a thought leader, right? Someone who sets the tone for a conversation. Somebody gives a path-breaking idea. Somebody shares his knowledge, his or her knowledge, expertise, and insights to the larger community. So these are some of the areas, right? You can read, write, you can write blogs, you can publish articles in journals, right? And you can also, help with youngsters. You can mentor them, right, as you go along. You can also be active in the industry conference and meeting circuit, right? The events, you can be a speaker, panel speaker, whatever, right? And you can be part of different professional associations, so you get that exposure and people know you, come to know you, who are you, right? That presence is very important, right? So I'm not reading everything line by line. Anyway, the slides will be available, the video is available, you can pause and read through. And also build an identity for yourself by getting active in the industry circuit. And you also can leverage your expertise and identity much higher. When you grow, you can do all the industry outreach activities, right? So that way you can position yourself as a thought leader by your activities. So all CISOs are not the same. I'm sure you would agree with me. This is just a diagram from Deloitte, I believe, and they talk about CISOs are different types, right? You have a strategist, you have a guardian, you have a technologist, and advisor. So it could be any of these categories, just one way to categorize. But the next slide, this is very elaborate. Point is you have multiple varieties of CISOs, right? You have a CISO only for GRC, there are technical CISOs, there are virtual CISOs, there are only for transformation initiatives, you may bring in a CISO. There's a compliance only CISO. You have seen in many regulated industries, they'll just have a CISO for the namesake, but they'll not have any real power, they'll not have ability to do implement real controls, just to manage the audits and stuff. They'll just to be there, right? So they all have constraints, so that's the reason these kind of classifications are there. And funny things are conference CISOs. You'll find them in every conference, not to belittle or anything against them. There are people who do a lot of personal branding, and that is also one type of CISOs, right? So you should know where, in your experience, what kind of CISOs have you come across, right? There are CISOs who are only pure technical. They wouldn't know anything about regulations and compliance, right? They won't see the big picture. They at best can be a function head, right? Not to be a CISO. And again, you should understand CISO is a multifaceted role. It is not just one area of expertise. You should know business, you should know technology, you should know the big picture, how both can be connected and how it can enhance the organization's security posture. So this slide is again color coded. Each of the color coded area, it talks about the big picture orientation of different domains in cybersecurity, right? So each color coded area can give a career path if there are people who spend a lifetime in each of these areas, right? So what you see in amber, the orange color here is the application security piece, right? AppSec. Then you have the enterprise risk management and risk assessment. Then you have the governance area where you do the policies, procedures, budgeting, roles, responsibilities, the org structure, all of it. How do you set it up? Then you have the threat intel, which is part of the SOC. Then you have the user awareness, education and training, right? So that is also very important. Then you have the SOC team here, right? The core of your security operations. What's important is understanding the frameworks, different frameworks as you go higher in your career. Then you also should spend adequate effort and time on career development, right? Not only yourself, even for your team members. So different aspects you can always explore how best you can upskill. The cloud security, physical security, all of it is very important. And the core is the security architecture and engineering, right? So anything from identity access management to cryptography, encryption, data loss prevention, how do you securely architect infrastructure, all of it comes under the architecture and engineering. Okay, so each of them offers a significant career path to individuals. So as a CISO, you may not be an expert in every area. At least one or two you should be very strong, right? You may start as a ethical hacker, pen tester, then you move on to other areas, right? You may move to cloud, you may move to DFIR, right? But point is, as you grow higher, you should know at least at a high level the key aspects of each of these domains, right? So what do CISOs all do all day is just a quick graph from industry survey. I thought I'll just put. So you do have all the security operations and onwards, all these activities. Just to give you an idea what they do, you can compare in your organization what your CISO does. And you thought your job was hard, but when you look at a CISO's job, they are answerable, they are accountable. We have seen different industry surveys talk about how short the CISO's job tenure is, right? Normally, whenever there is a very major security incident like a data breach or a ransomware attack, it is always the CISO who gets fired, right? They get replaced. So that's the reality. There have been industry survey reports that say the average tenure of a CISO is between 18 months to 24 months. So why I'm saying is you should know the reality of CISO's role, especially in IT sector. There are companies which in manufacturing or very legacy organization where they may have CISOs at a longer tenure, right? They may not come under these kind of vagaries or these changes. But ideally, what is happening in the industry is not a very ideal thing. CISOs always get thrown under the bus, even though no, the company may not fund the security program well. So all these anomalies are there. So you should know how these security leaders have a very tough life, right? And this again a mind map on the CISO what they do, right? Overall, I'm skipping this in the interest of time. And do you see this big picture in terms? You see all these a layered security program. So how your critical crown jewels and mission critical assets are being protected by each layer. At each layer, you have a lot of technologies and tools. Don't worry about the acronyms here. Uh, People in cybersecurity would be familiar with them. If you're not familiar, no issues. You can always Google and learn. But point is, these big picture is very important. How you build secure by design and layered defense in depth program, right? And what are the 10 things you would I learned in my career as a security leader, right? That's something I can talk from my experience. So with this I should be closing. I'll quickly go through. Does your management walk the talk on cybersecurity? It's a question you should ponder, right? While everyone talks about cybersecurity is important, it is critical, we need to have tangible support, all of that, but do they have the do they put the money and on the table and walk the talk, right? Are they having commitment to security excellence? Are you well funded and well resourced? So all those things you need to think through, right? And make do with much less. That's what I learned. Because 10 years back, almost a decade ago, I joined a mid-size IT organization that was developing applications and having a BPO unit, and was US headquartered, and their clientele was mostly US companies. But only when I joined as a in the leadership role, I got to know it's not all easy. Because we did never had proper budgeting, right? So we were always short staffed. We didn't had adequate funding, right? But we were coming under compliances by customers. We were bound by ISO certification, right? We had to maintain that. We were doing periodical BCPDR testing. We came under SOC 2 attestation also, right? So it was very tough when you work under such trying circumstances, when management asks you to do with very little money, right? So when they consider security as a cost center, you are done, right? They look at it in a very different way. So they always give weightage or value to the profit centers, right? But how do you position security as a business enabler, right? For that, you need to build a very strong business case and make them understand how this actually enhances revenue, how it positions the company having a competitive advantage when you bid for new contracts, right? So all that you have, a lot of things depends on the leader's profile and leader's personality, and how they uh, give perception, how they make the perception change towards cybersecurity, right? And the other important thing is security culture, right? So our security is not ensured by rules. You just have a rule book, rule handbook, do's and don'ts. You have all your policies. Just because you have all of them, nobody is going to comply, right? The culture is very important, right? We talk a lot about security culture. Culture is part of your overall organization culture. The culture of any organization is shaped by the worst behavior the leader is willing to tolerate. Very deep meaning. Please ponder over it, right? And policy enforcement isn't easy, right? You may have a great policy, but people may not be bothered about it. So everyone wants exceptions, especially the more higher in the hierarchy. Say you have an endpoint protection tool and nobody can connect flash drives, for example. Management folks, some of them may want an exception because they don't want to comply with for whatsoever reason. Unless they have a very strong business justification, it is approved. Otherwise, you should not, right? So, point is, when you are accustomed to privilege, equality feels like oppression, right? So, when you are always used to a life of privileges, something like you never stood in queue, you got your food on your table served by someone, but suddenly, one day in the food court, in the company food court, you are asked to go and stand in a queue to look very, very oppressive for the people who are used to such luxuries, right? So that's what is happening today. Another thing is office politics is inevitable, you cannot avoid. So if all the leaders in the company engage in politics, then it is not politics, it's a culture. Simple as that, right? So again, it's a very favorite quote from Pericles, is a Greek philosopher. He said, just because you do not take an interest in politics doesn't mean politics won't take an interest in you. It will come. Just because you say I don't eat lion, I expect the lion not to eat me. That is very dumb thing, right? So politics will be there. So you should have a way to handle politics, not get into any groupisms, so that you are painted in the wrong way, right? The perception game is very, very important when you grow higher in career. So don't get into all these groupisms and get into trouble. Don't get into office gossips. Don't get into this camp, that camp, right? And don't unnecessarily get into stuff which you are not actually paid for, right? And reporting structure makes or breaks your success, right? So we all know the why CISO should not report to CIOs who could be a potential conflict of interest, right? So this slide again talks about the details, why you can see the ones that are in thumbs up, right? It gives the justification and the benefits as to why it makes sense if you report to the CEO or CRO or COO, right? But not others. And CISO role effectiveness, again, there's again a survey from Hendricks and Struggles. Last year they did a 2024, they did a survey. So it talks about where the CISOs actually report. That's a very sad state of affairs, right? And operations is like running on a treadmill. This is a quote this is a stuff which one of my very early managers told me way back in mid 2000s. He told me this. However faster and longer you run, you go nowhere, right? So you should go beyond operations, get into strategy and governance roles. So that way, it actually, if you are in GRC role, you will get a complete 360-degree view of what's going on, right? And that will actually hasten or speed up your journey towards CISO. It's a very short cut it will give you, unlike from other domain specializations. Okay, and CISO burnout is real today because of the fatigue they have, the high pressure work environment, demanding role, always firefighting. They have to make much less in very less support they get from management. They have to deliver more. So all these issues make burnout real, and CISOs are very hard pressed for time, focus, money. Every way they are boxed into a corner, and in scenarios where they are to urgently clear an audit with less controls, it's a big pain, right? And handling protecting the organization from the evolving threatscape without optimized tools is again a challenge. And we also know the talent crisis we all have, the skill gap in the industry. You don't get adequate people, right? You're not able to retain people, you're not able to attract quality people because you have constraints in terms of budget. You cannot throw money, you don't have adequate budget, and also how your company is perceived, right? So a manufacturing company looks for a SOC analyst, and a IT company looks for the same. Definitely, the job seeker will prefer IT company, right? So like this, you have all these issues. Your branding, your company, industry sector, everything matters for a job seeker, right? So all those things. and no margin for error, right? You look at right side, all the excuses which we all give, right? This is not part of the roadmap, this is not approved, we are waiting for reviews, right? Every excuse that we say makes the criminals very emboldened, and it actually helps them. The hackers are very happy with all the bureaucratic issues that we face, and they are able to be more effective. So criminals need to be lucky only once, but you need to be lucky every time. That's a moral of the story. The last learning I had was security is a journey, not a destination. We all understand this very well. Security is not a product but a process. It's a continuous thing, right? It is not that today I implemented a tool, so I'm sorted. Today I got a audit cleared in an audit, so life is done, right? Or I got a certification for the organization, so our security is optimized. You never know what the next minute, what kind of attack is going to happen. So the effectiveness is in the rigor and discipline of your processes and controls rather than anything else, right? And what no one tells you in your being a CISO in the corporate sector is uh, how you build your career, right? There is no fixed path. You can keep reinventing with the time so that you are up to speed with the latest technology, regulations, business models to stay relevant. And your integrity is absolutely important. You cannot compromise this on any way. You have to be very careful. Strong business ethics, strong work ethics you have to build it. The character, your character is more important. Certain things you have to strictly say no. No conflict of interest. You have to be very honest, right? And if any thing that puts you in confusion, you should always look up your mentors, look at the rule book, and then decide what is actually appropriate, right? Align security with business goals. That's again very important, right? Without aligning, your security program is not going to go anywhere. We exist as a security team for supporting the business, not the other way around. Okay, and get your priorities right, right? So priorities depends on these factors: your threat scenario, risk profile, your customer obligations, industry sector, if it is regulated or non-regulated. What are your organization goals, right? What is the compliance regulations that you need to fulfill or standards you need to fulfill? All these will actually dictate your priorities. Learning is again lifelong, so don't stop learning. So I got a few points here. So learning, you should never stop. Learning you stop, then end up failing. And downsides of being a CISO, you should have a very large risk appetite, right? We have a saying, fall down 7 times and stand up 8. So that kind of resilience you should have, right? So unless you are having a very strong orientation towards being resilient personally, this is not for chicken-hearted folks. In the sense, it's not for weak-minded people. Should be mentally very strong and the ability to go on despite all the troubles and obstacles life throws at you. Okay, and it is chief incident scapegoat officer. Any major incidents, entire company blames the security, the CISO, right? So it's not just for fun, but in reality also I have undergone the same CEO who will be very nice to me. He will not take action on the risk register we show in every monthly meeting. But something goes wrong exploiting the risk, he will not sit with me. He will sit opposite to me and question me. Why you didn't tell me, right? So it's always the CISO is the fall guy. So be ready for that. And CISOs have short tenure. I already spoken about it. So you have some stats from industry, from Gartner and other this thing. And also burnout is real. We already spoke about this. It's always lonely at top. When you are the CISO, you have to take decisions and be responsible. So the buck stops with you. But for a reason, it's lonely at the top. That's why Bugatti has 2 seats and buses have 50. So you want all the perks of your role, then be ready to walk the lonely road. Okay, and budget and resources are always a problem. The very funny picture, but overall, it's what it is, right? When you before the incident, nobody gives you budget, but after it, it'll give you. It's only a meme, but may not be really true. So, do you really have a seat in the board? When you have a board access, then it changes the dynamics of your position, right? When you have direct access to the board, you are getting invited to the board meeting on a quarterly basis, or at least a 10-minute update you need to give to the board. You have a better chance rather than reporting only to the senior management. Again, in reality, board exposure or board meetings where you speak is highly choreographed, carefully choreographed event. You cannot talk all that comes to your mind. You have to get approval from your boss there and review your slide deck, what you are presenting. They'll give you pointers and whatever feedback they want you to implement, and then you go and effectively present, right? But what's very important is if you have access to the board meetings, it actually helps your CISO role many notches up. Okay. And security culture matters. A culture eats strategy for breakfast by Peter Drucker is a very popular management guru, right, in the 70s. You may have great strategy, roadmap, all of it, but if your culture is rotten, nothing can be done. And in reality, culture eats strategy for breakfast, operational excellence for lunch, and everything else for dinner, right? So again, how many of you have felt like a naked emperor? Have you? The naked emperor story you must be knowing, right? It's a European story in our childhood we would have read. So when your CISO is not empowered, right? They just have a compliance CISO or a GRC CISO just for the namesake to fulfill the compliance regulations. Yeah, you do have a CISO, yes, but do they have real empowerment? Are they authorized to run a proper security program optimized against risks and threats? No. Do they have budget approvals? No. So these are all anomalies that we see, but that's what this real world life is, right? Real life is. So how many of you have seen Emperor's New Clothes, right? Okay, and everyone will give you a free advice on how to run cybersecurity. Have you guys come across situations where non-security people in a meeting they tell you how you should run, what you should do, what kind of data you should present in a dashboard, just for the heck of telling you and feeling powerful that they told something to the CISOs, right? So everyone wants to tell you what to do, what's good for you. They don't want to find your own answers. They want you to believe theirs is the answer. That's what it is. Again, one of my old, philosophers from Greece, Socrates, right? So that's what. How many of you can connect with this? Point number 7. You received any free advice on how to run security? And again, this is a leadership paradox today. I see in many companies, security is run by two types of people: those who lead don't understand it. Those who understand don't get to lead. Right. So, in conclusion, security CISO is a strategic role, executive leadership role. Behind the glamour, it's all about testing the grits of the CISO and the guts, so that you are on the path to glory. Adapting and protecting the organization while staying compliant. So, very tall order, right? Ability to demonstrate security value add to the business by aligning with the business goals is very, very critical. And engage the stakeholders positively, be it the board, senior management, employees, customers, regulators, all your vendors, suppliers, everyone. And today, CISO's role goes beyond security. Okay, so whole idea is security is not about building walls, but building, enabling trust-based relationships. That's very important. But despite all this, don't get scared. And if you are ready, or heart to heart, you know that you are ready for a leadership role, go for it. So this is again a very favorite quote of mine from Richard Branson. If someone offers you an amazing opportunity and you are not sure you can do it, still say yes, and then learn how to do it. You will never get 100% perfect for any role. You are 80% okay, give it a shot. You can always learn on the job, but be careful what you are getting into. That pros and cons you should know, right? And go take on the world. Best wishes to you guys. I look forward to stay connected. So I'm done with this.
Wow, thank you so much, Dr. Ram. That was truly amazing. So, even I'm fired up to become a CISO.
Good. I really like it.
That was really great. So, I know that you all must be buzzing with questions to ask, just as I am. But do you know what better way to bring those thoughts to life than a good fireside chat? So, to
Yeah.
steer this conversation and bring out the most insightful perspectives, we have someone truly exceptional who will be moderating this fireside chat with Dr. Ram. So, please join me in welcoming Pawan Karthik M, Senior Threat Researcher at CloudSEK, whose groundbreaking work on Stealer malware has been acknowledged by top intelligence agencies. With deep expertise in threat intelligence and a sharp eye on evolving cyber risks, he's been instrumental in helping organizations worldwide strengthen their defenses. Over to you, Mr. Pawan.
Hi, Pawan.
Hello, thank you guys. Uh, Dr. Ram, that was really a insightful session, and I wanted to get started looking back at your presentation. You were mentioning there's no direct pathway to become a CISO, right?
Yeah.
But looking back at your journey, what was that specific point, like the turning point where you pivoted from a technical role to a managerial role or a business leader, basically?
Yeah, this happened pretty early in my career. My career was pretty unusual or unconventional, right? So I had only 3.5 years, less than 4 years experience. Within that, I moved on to real managerial positions. I got my big break at a non-IT company called G4S. It's into physical guarding. It's a London-based company. So there they hired me as a project manager for cybersecurity, and I was all of 26 years old age, right? 26 years age, and they saw some spark in me in the interviews, and they gave me that role, and that role probably prepped me for future leadership roles because I was reporting directly to the regional managing director, and I got a ringside view of how decisions are being made, the management decisions. So effectively, we were trying to set up a consulting arm for cybersecurity for that company, and I was a managerial hire for that business unit, and that gave me a lot of learnings.
Understood. So this would be a follow-up to the same question. Like most of us, like who are attending the session also, might be in boxed up roles. Like myself, for 3 years, I've been working in threat intelligence. Someone else might be stuck in a GRC role. For them to switch and then explore all the pathways which you have shown, which are most important for a CISO to understand. What do you think? Like you say to them, like what advice do you give to them?
See, you can always upskill. Today, you have enough opportunities to learn. Suppose from your current role, you want to learn cloud. You can always do some trainings. You can do certifications and gain some project exposure as a freelancer, or you can explore opportunities in your own organization and then move transition either internally or externally when you are ready. Now, point is you can transition across technical areas, but you don't have to do everything if your goal is to become a CISO. So, as I said, for transitioning into leadership role, you need to understand business and build the acumen, and a business degree can actually help you, right? So that's how I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. So one more thing was like operations being a treadmill. I deeply resonated with that because most of the work happens there, but then like the whole visibility of what's happening is very less. Uh, can you like explain if maybe metrics, better metrics, or automation can help reduce the like effort or basically burnout which happens for everyone in operations?
Yeah, so today burnout is real given the kind of work pressure that we are, right? So again, AI is coming in a big way, agentic AI specifically. So automation is a way forward, and of course, having a meaningful metric actually makes things better, right? When you compare and you can see where we have progressed. The point is, when you have automation coming in a big way, it reduces your operational fatigue, right? And it shifts your perception in terms of, you can focus more on strategic and other areas rather than doing the same old stuff. So repetitive tasks like vulnerability scanning, patching, or incident response, all these things you can, even threat intel integration, all of this you can actually make it automated, and you can bring in that efficiency for the folk freed up from these routine activities, and they can focus more on meaningful tasks, right? They can work on better tasks. So burnout is real. So how do you handle burnout? A lot talks about says about your work life balance, your mental makeup, how positive you are even in such critical situations, right? So all those things play a big role.
Yes. Plus, I mean, in today's threat landscape, right, a lot of attacks start outside our own perimeter. Like
Yes.
brand threat, someone like abusing our brand, someone like maybe shadow assets. You don't even know like
Yep.
what user might have put outside our perimeter. Uh, then also third parties being vulnerable, and like there are a lot of supply chain issues which happen. How do you think CISOs should evolve, or basically young CISOs should learn to manage outside perimeter?
Yeah. So you should go beyond the traditional. You build a castle and moat kind of security, right? That is all gone. So security visibility should be pervasive across, right? You should have a complete visibility beyond the perimeter. So have external attack service management solutions in having a complete view of all your domains, right? Subdomains, your cloud assets, IP addresses, your web applications, APIs, all of them, right? And automate your scanning monitoring processes, prioritize, contextualize and prioritize which you need to apply critical patches, all of that. Then you can leverage on digital risk protection services, something like your brand monitoring, brand protection, right? Especially in dark web, how brand abuse happens and phishing campaigns, right? Any data leakage monitoring also you can do it in all your GitHub or dark web forum, right? All of that you can do, and social media monitoring also. All these things can lead to wrong sentiment and brand image of the organization. Then of course your traditional third party risk management and supply chain risk management also helps in monitoring your vendors, your third parties, right? And implement zero trust. That's the way ahead. Zero trust is a journey. It's not just one tool you can implement and be done with it. And I think these are the specific areas I would say which you can help in managing this issue. Yeah.
Understood. Also, like getting budget for operations, like specifically for cybersecurity, is real hard as you presented. Do you think the shift in cyber risk quantification will help, like basically convert the, like basically to help us engage with the board?
Yeah.
Like, do you think it will help us like in the future of security reporting? I mean, past incidents are the way to like predict future, right? So do you think that helps, like showcasing past incidents for across your maybe competitors, also across your industry, across the globe? So do you think that helps better in terms of like after a data breach, that's a different case, but before a data breach or a before an incident,
Yeah.
showcasing other companies' downfalls? Is that a way a CISO should go to the board for requesting more budget?
Yeah, the risk quantification is a very important objective tool because you quantify in dollar terms or rupee terms to showcase what is the probability or what is the impact of risk being exploited and how it impacts your business operations. What is the loss, revenue loss, all of that you can do. Uh, because people look at data and they buy data, right? I mean, data sells. It's a very objective way to present your risks, right? And the board loves numbers, your CFO allows. So it makes sense. But point is whether your risk quantification methodology should be acceptable to everyone, right? That acceptability is something you should communicate clearly and make them see sense, right? So it has to be credible, whatever methodology you're approaching. Everyone should agree on that because everyone looks at risk in a different way, right? So that is very important in terms of financial terms. So that will actually help in getting acceptance from everyone and helps you to take better informed decisions for buying new tools and deployment. So the purchase or outsource decisions can be made with the help of risk quantification and putting your controls in place. Okay. And
Yes.
board definitely appreciates these kind of initiatives, provided it is well presented with justification.
Yes. Thank you so much for that. Like just final questions, final two questions. Like quick questions also, you might say. For any aspiring CISO, is there any book you would suggest for us to read?
Lot many books are there, but I'm not very what do you call a big fan of books these days. I don't have time, but I will always suggest. Since we were on the topic risk quantification, I read a book by How to Measure Anything in Cybersecurity Risk.
Oh,
This is
yes.
written by a couple of authors. I met Richard Sainson earlier this year. He's a CTO at Qualys. So he did a workshop on this and he presented all of us his book. Richard Sainson and Douglas Hubbard, these two are the authors. So anybody wants to pick up stuff on risk quantification, how to be, go proactive from being reactive, how to do informed decision making, all of that helps you when you read this book actually. Okay.
Yes. Finally, closing. Thank you for this deeply authentic and inspiring conversation. You not only shared wisdom but also validated a lot of unspoken
Thank
truths
you.
in the industry. Thank you for
Thank you.
this.
Thank you. It was pleasure speaking to you.
Wow, that was really such a candid and thought-provoking conversation. Thank you so much, Mr. Pawan and Dr. Ram Kumar Ji, for this inspiring conversation that I'm so glad I got to be a part of, and I'm so sure the mentees are as well. So, to catch everyone up again, Dr. Ram Kumar Ji was our mentor in the Aspiring CXOs Awards program that took place in Bangalore in May for the South region. And up next, we are coming to Apne Hi Dil Walo Ki Delhi on August 2nd. So the nominations are open now. If you're from Delhi or you know someone from Delhi who should nominate themselves for this award, we are coming on August 2. Please go ahead, nominate. It's on our site. So as we wrap up this session, just one quick step left for all of you. We'd love to hear your thoughts on today's session. Your feedback helps us improve and bring you even more impactful conversations in the upcoming episodes of Leadership Talkies.
Thank you. See you then.
Thank you so much, Ram sir.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.